Caviera is an operator in Rainbow Six Siege. Thanks for watching. You may be asking, why the fuck am I not doing a knock video? Well, number one, people are playing knock this season. And, well, as there's two sides to a coin, you might as well play Cav on defense whenever she's not banned. Caveira, the operator, unlike most characters such as Ash and Capcan, both of these characters, Ash and Capcan, have gadgets. These gadgets give them a specific job to do. Caveira, on the other hand, has an ability called Silence Step, which makes her almost invisible. I'll get to that later. This ability allows her to make outplays. Unlike other operators who have gadgets for specific roles, this ability can be used in a variety of ways to help her get kills and outplay her opponents. Caveira's predatory stealth. That is all this operator is about, stealth. And I'm going to be showing you spots you can use as Caveira to get free kills, and also how to look for these spots on maps like the border rework. So to show you spots, I'm going to be taking you over to Caveira. That's how you say it, right? Don't correct me. Don't correct me. I'm right. I know I'm right. Fuck proximity alarms. They are useless. So the reason I took you to Cafe Dostoevsky is because of, well, this couch. This couch, other than being completely impossible to sit on, this couch can cover you from both lines of sight from both doorways. When you're sat here, you cannot be seen from either side. Ouch.
5 seconds left.
No one, unless they were looking for you, would be able to find you. So, you may be asking, what does make this couch so powerful? Well, not only not being able to be seen from both sides, but also being able to take control of Garage Wall, of Freezer Wall. Freezer Wall is one of those spots where people will always try and open, or they will try and open up, or they will try and open up Bakery Wall, or even Prep Wall. But a lot of the time, if they try and open up Freezer Wall, you will be able to shoot out, or even just impact anything that gets thrown or put onto the wall to open it up. A lot of people, when they enter this room, don't even look towards the couch, really. They will check corners, but they will not look towards the couch. So I've shown you one spot, but time to show you how to actually find spots as Caveira. There are two different types of spots that you are looking for as Cav. There are the spots that will work at the early game, basically in the first couple of seconds of the game, which will get you early interrogations. And then there are the other types of spots, which I call long con spots. These spots are either close to the objective or are on the objective, which you have to rely on the enemy team already pushing towards the objective, so you can actually get your interrogation or your injures. To find the two different types of spots, you're going to have to, first of all, you're going to be on the attacking side, and second of all, you're going to have to use your drone. Once you've loaded into the map and you have your drone, now it's just a matter of try and drone out the entire map and make sure you keep in mind the rooms that you take a while either droning or that you think you don't check properly. For me, I'll be keeping in mind both CC/break offices, the new armory/lockers. I want to try some stuff out in here, I feel that there is some spots that you probably could get away with if this isn't objective. So when droning, you want to check every corner, and if there's a lot of things that block the corners of a room, keep that room in mind, because that means there are breaks in line of sight, which means you can use them to hide in. A lot of Cav is knowing where people are going to look when they enter the map, and so having a lot of game sense as well as map knowledge can really help. Oh shit, I'm not actually Cav. Okay, there we go. So now that you're Cav, now go to the rooms where you were looking. So one thing I've noticed on the border rework is not many people are roaming using this balcony. So one thing you want to start doing is trying to use areas that people aren't checking a lot. If you notice that people aren't checking specific spots, specific rooms, like there are people who just generally won't check this area. People who will enter through this doorway will usually just check here, check the long, but won't even check close. So meaning places like here, as Cav, you can't be seen. And even places where you go prone and just kind of hide here. Now, places where you have to go prone as Cav are actually useful, because you can't be heard when you both crouch. In your own thing, it's even quieter. And now think about for the enemy, that's even quieter. So they're barely going to hear you when you go crouch. And also even when you go prone. Going prone is a lot louder. And even moving in prone is a lot louder for the enemy team. But they won't notice it when there's a lot of stuff going on early in the game. Especially on a map like Border, which has a lot of atmospheric noise. People aren't going to be paying attention to the slight noise of a cav making, proning around and crawling. As when people usually check places like this, people aren't even droning this desk, by the way. I've noticed people just don't drone this. And you can just kind of slide out, stand up, free injure. People aren't checking these areas. And these are the areas you want to start abusing. Now, another thing with Cav Silent Step is you may be thinking, oh, but like, wouldn't they see my arm sticking out if I was to sit behind this fridge? Actually, no. Because when Cav goes into Silent Step, as you see, her body goes slightly lower. This can be used for both windows, as certain window sills are just high enough that Cav can hide behind. Places like this, you can just lean left, activate Silent Step. They can barely see you now. There's a very unlikely chance from someone entering this doorway seeing you, because they would barely be able to see your foot, and they'd actually have to go out of their way to check. So places like that, where people are forced to actually look for you, instead of are likely just to randomly find you, are amazing. Don't always think that there are spots that will just not work, because it's all reliant on the enemy team. A spot may just work of you just sitting on the other side of a barricade. Fun fact, I have gotten kills like that. So, there is a massive misconception with Caveira as an operator. A lot of people think her job is to get kills. Well, it is. But a lot of people also think that her job is to get an interrogation early on to win a round. And whilst, yes, it can be, and you may be going for one, don't always think that is your job. Caveira's job is to act as a roamer, which is to slow down the attacker's push. And Caveira can do it amazingly. Whilst I was in this room, I was mainly showing you places where you can stay to try and get early kills in a round from people entering through this doorway, or even just rotating to check these places. Well, now I'm going to show you what an actual long con spot is. So I'm taking you to customs now to show you places where you can hide in the site that you can use. So places you want to be using are places where people don't always check. So people always check back there. People will enter through here and check that sometimes. A lot of the time, this wall will be open. The people who already have checked that, people would check close. People would have checked that doorway, making sure that that is completely clear. But one place that not many people will completely clear out is this mini office. I haven't seen many people actually properly clear this place out. And if you're playing Cav in this office, reinforce this wall. This will save your life, trust me. Also, try and keep this window closed. So the reason why I'm saying you to close this, to reinforce this, is you can literally just play here. If you know for a fact that no one is going to peek this window, you can play in here and wait for the enemy team to push in. Another place you can play is this corner. This also banks on them not checking this window. Some maps aren't even good for Cav, such as Coastline. And I can show you how by adding the audio in. That is heard at full audio. Caveira's ability doesn't remove audio. So from what you just heard, was you heard all that audio in the background, but it was slightly quieter. But actually for the enemy, it's still the same loudness. That's the right. It's the same like level of noise. So they actually don't hear any difference. It is the same type of noise when you hear someone vault off here. Another thing is, when you're even just going up here and dropping, it is the same level of noise that you would normally make without Silent Step even on. it just sounds quieter with the Cav filter on top of it for your own audio. This map just has really bad audio for Cav, because everything is just slightly louder, especially in this middle square area. So if you were to break a hatch, going down a hatch like this, that's fine. You're barely heard. They don't really hear the noise. What they do hear is this debris. That slight noise you just heard, that can be heard by every player, even if it's just a barricade. All that metal noise, even in silent step, can still be heard. So, a common misconception is that running as Cav is completely silent. It actually isn't. Running as Cav is not completely silent. It makes it just the same amount of noise as if someone were crouch walking around the map. So, what do I do to get around this? Well, number one, you can crouch walk as Cav. That is silent. As you can even hear in the audio in the background. You can't hear my footsteps. Obviously, crouching through debris still makes noise. So try to avoid it. The things that can be done in silent step that can't be heard. Things such as reloading. For you, it's loud. Enemies can't hear it. Other things that can't be heard in silent step. Leaning. Remember, for us, it's loud. For us, as in us playing Cav, it's louder than what they can hear. So when sprinting, they hear the noise of crouching. When we are leaning left and right, they can't hear it at all. There is no audio in which playing. There is most probably if they put their headsets all the way up to 100 and everything to 100, they probably could hear you. But I doubt it. Like, I doubt anyone's going to want to do that without blowing their eardrums. Just like this, your knife makes audio. So I don't always recommend dropping hatches. And a common misconception is doing this is quieter or silent. It's not. It's still loud. So, one really bad map for Cav is Oregon. Oregon forces you into very linear paths, and is one of the types of maps you want to avoid. Any map which has very open rooms, which you can check very quickly, and also forces you to have to go up and down to rotate, is very bad. So yeah, thanks for letting me talk about Cav the entire time, and thanks for watching.